Midnight Tally, man. Alright then. Okay, so I usually do a test and go back and check it, but I won't this time. So 5 minutes ago I put the camera on here and I was going for a bit of an improvisation, and I was going to do the Daisy Train. The Daisy Train, what happened is this: the Daisy Train was included in the House of Illusion in the past, in the two playlists back. It was meant to be included in that, or it could be meant to be included in the last playlist. Nonetheless, I did do it. The Daisy Train. It's a poem from that I wrote some years back, 4 or 5 years, maybe 4 years ago. I wrote this poem. I filmed it. I actually filmed it, and I filmed it at Glebe. However, I looked back and it was rather dry. I watched it back. I wasn't reading it very well, and I had completely planned to put it up as a part of the remixes. I had completely planned to put. Is there enough light coming in here? Hang on. I think there is. I think there should be enough light. So I filmed it. I did it, and I had it ready to put up a couple of weeks ago, and I watched it just to have a look, check it, and I thought, oh, this is not good. I didn't do this very well. This is not done well. It's not great. And I thought, well, can I put it up? And I thought, no, I can't put this up. It's just doesn't feel right. There's not enough inspiration in it, and I'm not reading it properly. It does happen sometimes. Yeah. So what I thought I had. Well, I thought, why don't I do it now against this background? Well, why don't I do it now, okay? And so I went and got my diary from a couple of years back, which I've got a whole, because I printed out a bunch of poems that I have written. I printed them out and I thought it was amongst them. And so I just flipped through them, and the Daisy Train is not in there. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I sort of decided to do something else. So I started, point being, so I started to do something, and then I picked up something else. I picked up a different poem, and I was reading that. It's about 34 degrees in here. It's about 34 degrees in Sydney today. 34 degrees in Sydney today, which makes it about I don't know, 95 Fahrenheit. America is in the middle of winter. Yeah, America's in their winter. It's 35 degrees Celsius, and it's about 35 degrees today in Marrickville, here in Marrickville. And okay, quite frankly, that the evening is much better to film in. It's much better to film in the evening. And it's about 6, because daylight saving here, so it's about 6, I don't know what time it is, I'm not sure what time it is. It's about 5 p.m. I think it's not, no, maybe 4 p.m. Something like that. Alright, so it actually was about 7:16 p.m. when I did that a few hours ago, when I was having a chat. Yeah, always best to film actually in the morning or at night. It's much more atmospheric to film at night. I can use the backlight at night. It's just much better to film at night. Anyway, so I did what I did a few minutes ago, and I went over there. I looked back at it, and I'm like, oh, and I thought, well, at least we'll just have a chat at least then. I'll just have a chat, right? I'll just have a chat at least then. And yes, yeah. So that's what I did. I was a bit frustrated. My Windows 7 computer is not functioning now. There was the eye on the keyboard stopped working, and then the space bar isn't working. My Windows 7 computer. I was thinking about getting it fixed. But I'm thinking I'm just going to. I've got everything on the external hard drive, and I think I might just. I'm just going to get everything off it now. I'll just get everything off it and just use my Windows 10. I've been using my Windows 10 for a while. And so now I think Windows. I probably won't. I want to keep the Windows 7. I'll try to get it fixed, and but it seems that it's conking out on me. And so what I was trying to do before wasn't really working so much. And I wanted to just have a bit of a chat anyway, so I thought I'd just do this. Very good. And yes, I was. I've over the last couple of days, I've been thinking about the gentrification of Enmore, Newtown. Spoken about this before, about the glory days of Newtown. Actually, just a very quick note now. That 2005 in Enmore, Newtown, 2005 between 2005 and 2011 was great. That was a really good time in Newtown. It's good times. Yeah. So I mean, that's just from my personal. I mean, generations before me, before I first went to Newtown, and that was all through the 1980s and the 1990s. I would love to go back and love to go back in time. I'd love to go back. Love to go back in. What I'm trying to say is this. I'd love to go back to the 1980s and spend a week in Newtown in the 1980s. That'd be fantastic. Spend a week in Sydney in the CBD in the 1980s. I think because I was a kid, I was in my teenage years in the 1980s, and I didn't really go out. But yes, so from my perspective, that 2003 through 2012, that was a good time. That was a good time in Newtown and Enmore then. Okay, back to what I was saying. Glory days of Newtown went from about 1995 through about 2015 was the cut-off. The cut-off was when the Sly Fox changed management. Closed for renovations about January of 2015 and reopened around about July of 2015, but the management had changed, everything was fucked. The management had no idea what management, I was going to say, they had no idea what they're doing. Well, at the time too, they didn't have any idea what they're doing, but the bouncers were arseholes, and they weren't even from the area. They didn't have no idea what about anything it was about Enmore. Anyway, they fucked it all up, and so that's the gentrification of Enmore and Newtown started about mid 2015. Probably started earlier than that. 2015 it started. So now, and then 4 years later, the big change of Newtown. So the glory days of Newtown and Enmore are gone. And the glory days of Newtown and Enmore, when the rock and roll people were there, goths, punks, metalheads, hippies, goths. I think I said goths, punks, metalheads, hippies, rock and roll people. That's what Newtown was. That's what Newtown was, and it was just our community there. It was just that particular community, and now it's just gone a bit weird. It's gone lopsided because now, as I said, Newtown has a whole, and the newer generations coming in, and people from other suburbs have come in and made it their home. Newtown is no longer Newtown. I haven't been there at night for a while. I haven't been out there at night for a while, but actually I have. Every now and then I've been out there at night, and it's not the same place. It's and especially now the Sly Fox was bought out by somebody, and they've made it the Enmore Hotel, and it's totally different. Taken all the beautiful red tiles that they had on the side, they've taken them off now, and it's extremely sad. It's actually heartbreaking in a sense. It's very, very sad because I remember the glory days of Enmore and Newtown. I remember it, and how 2005 Enmore was called the Gothic Mile, and that we didn't ever think anything would change. I suppose that we didn't. We're a bit naive in that sense. And 2015, and it really did happen with the. It really did happen with the changeover, the renovation of the Sly Fox. and then that closed its doors and it reopened. Everything was different. They treated everyone differently. They weren't from the area, and then about 2018 got shut down, and also because there was the Sly Fox was running under the non-existent 24-hour license. So a license was very impressive actually. They got by 15 years under not an imaginary license. What happened was the Sly Fox manager of the Sly Fox applied for a 24-hour license in 1998, I think it was, and for a year, trial license for a year. And what happened after that was they didn't apply for a permanent one, and no one questioned them for 15 years. So for 15 years they just ran until 6 a.m. in the morning. And when the lockout laws came in, people started, different hotels in the CBD and around the areas were questioned. The authorities wanted to know where their licence was, and they rocked up at the Sly Fox said, "Where's your licence?" And they went, "Oh." And there was a big war after that, because then the Sly Fox applied for the 24-hour licence again, and they came out and said, "No, we're not going to do it." I read the article about it. I read the article about it a few 6 months ago. I read the article about it, and they said, "We're not going to do it. We're not going to give you that licence." And there was a big thing about that. And then they eventually sort of, you can remain. I think they can remain open until 3 a.m. now. But everything, and also everything, the noise, like the sound, music, they running silent, run deep. That's an Iron Maiden song. I'm not entirely sure which album it's off. Run silent, run deep. Maybe for the night. I don't know. So yeah, they just it's not a 24-hour place anymore. They got overruled with that. The changing face and times of Enmore and Newtown, not the community, not the place I once knew. Everything's changed now, and it's a little bit. It's actually, I find it a little bit sad to hang out in Newtown. I don't really hang out in Newtown that often. I pass through there. I still enjoy going to Camberdown Park. I like to stay at the hub sometimes. It just feels a little bit sad now. Nonetheless, and in the video that I did a video about this a couple of months ago, but I haven't uploaded it yet. There's a lot of videos I haven't uploaded yet, so I just thought I'd talk about it today. I'm going to talk about it now. So I want to talk about something that has sort of been on my mind the last 48 hours or so. And with the pandemic, which is happening, not very many people are going out anyway. Can't really go out. Not supposed to be going out. And that, so that's that. Yes, it's definitely that. I'm going to check my battery. Might have even coughed out by this point in my content. I've still battery's about to die. Midnight Charlie Man, Patrick here. How are you doing? Well, that was my rant. Well, that was my talk. But the battery's about to cough out and die. So there's not much left on it. And so yes. Yep. Maybe I'll say a little bit more on it later, but battery's about to conk out, and it's a challenge to keep this battery charged. Got to be on top of it. So yeah.